Welcome back to Kruznik's Sanctuary and Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Kruznik X, along with Arya Stormborn. Last episode, we were tasked with finding survivors. Well, we met Licinia and met with some survivors, so... But I feel like Licinia has a little secret. I haven't said anything yet in terms of who I think she is, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's get right down to it with the level 82 quest, How the Mighty Are Fallen.
Sorry, I'm still finding it hard to come to terms with all that's happened. Now that you're here, though, I'm hoping things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running about, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you can tell, they're in a far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer or with more food, but they're not going anywhere until we nurse them back to health. Which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do to help them?
Well, let's check with Alphino. I can treat the frostbite in their wounds, but it will take time for the fire to do its work. Now would be a good occasion to make use of Amanalane's tinctures, the ones that can warm the body from the inside out. Would you make sure everyone gets one? Alright. The numbness is beginning to subside, though I suspect once the fire dies, it will return with a vengeance. Here you go. Warming tincture. I've never heard of such a thing. No harm in trying. But tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Though calling it that seems absurd after what's happened. It's nothing but ruins now. The few buildings still standing offer no more than meager protection from the wind and snow. Food production, water purification... The Magitech that sustained us has come to a grinding halt. What machina that remains operational cannot be run for lack of ceruleum. Of course, cerulean engines is full of the stuff, for all the good it does us. No one here knows the first thing about extraction or refinement. Ooh, that's an interesting rendition. Okay. No. Music, where I'm at. Anyway. All is well. Yes, never better. Here you go. Oh, what sweet libation is this? Is it poison by any chance? 'Twas a joke. If I laugh, 'tis that I may not weep, so said the poet. And alas, my tears would freeze on my cheek ere they fell. We are the blessed damned, to bear witness to the fall of the great empire, while our brethren lie dead, or live on as puppets of flesh. First came the war, then came the roar. When morning came, Garlemald was no more. In a cacophony of gunfire, explosions, and screams was our beloved capital razed to the ground. From the rubble rose the disheveled remnants, the lavish finery caked in ash as they shuffled mindlessly towards the palace, each bearing a fragment of stone or metal, an offering perhaps to the architect of our destruction. A hopeful few tried to reason with the deranged, only to be beaten for their kindness. But I knew better than to plead with the horde. I fled with my health, if not my conscience preserved. Now I wait with my fellow cowards for our final judgment. What do you want? What do you want? A tincture? May as well drink it, I suppose.
Whoops.
This? It's a radio. You don't have them where you come from, I take it? We use them to listen to messages sent by others, even over great distances. There are different types, but this model is by far the most popular. Made with quality components crafted with the finest ore, sourced from Locus and Moenus it is. Not all that useful since the capital fell to ruin. The people at the broadcasting station must have either fled or ended up like all the others, because all we've been hearing is the same music, being played over and over again. Home beyond the horizon. An ode to the brave men and women sent to reclaim our ancestral homeland of Locus Amoenus. We may have founded an empire in these frozen wastes, but we always hoped to take back what was once ours. 'Tis a solemn reminder that, though we must suffer great hardship, better days will surely come. Despite everything, I believe that Emperor Varus yet lives, and that he speaks to us through our radios. It was a cunning strategy faking his murder. He must have foreseen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself, that he may one day make his triumphant return. Yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varus would not be defeated so easily.
Okay. Yeah, and we're not done yet. What's that? Here you go. So this is what you gave the others. Thank you. I'll save it for later. Actually, I've a few things to ask you. Are you part of the group staying in Laterum? In Laterum? I saw Legatus Virgilia's troops heading towards the Magna Glacies. The Magna Glacies a few days ago. Are they the ones you encountered? Camp Broken Glass, you call it. And Virgilia and her men are all there now. So how did you reach the Magna Glacies? Did you cross the mountains on foot? Airship. Airships. Then there might be a way to...
Licinia? Where is everyone?
Is something the matter? A voice from inside, you say? You must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. Perhaps a baby here, Masti, has found its way into the house. It wouldn't be the first time. Without the soldiers to scare them off, wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlements. Some have been known to attack people, too. I've just had an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat a Legatus, then surely a few beasts shouldn't pose a threat. If you've a mind to continue helping us, perhaps you could head to the other side of the lake. There's a small group of tappers living there, people whose job was to extract ceruleum. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange. Lots of food. And that's something we don't have and can't get on our own. On top of that, To even reach their den, we'd have to make our way past all those creatures. Would you be willing to go in home in our place? We only need enough ceruleum to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. Oh, and I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the tappers.
You'd best watch out for baby Almasties while we're away.
Yes, of course. If I see anything, I'll be sure to shoo them away. To reach Tapper's Den, you'll have to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you'll need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky too, so it's easier to just look for someone standing guard outside. However you decide to head there, please be careful.
Whoops, that's a countdown. That's my Fenrir. I think I see a lantern. Some kind of light. It's gotta be it. Who goes there? How'd you find us? What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor's Spoils hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. The stuck-up arseholes. Thought they could come waltzing in here demanding ceruleum with nothing to offer in return? Ha! Looks like the boot's on the other foot now that the capital's gone to shite. So, they've resorted to sending you to negotiate? I know your game, sellsword. If they think we'll give in to intimidation, they've got another thing coming.
Fine. You want to do this the hard way? I'll do this the hard way.
Now then. There you are.
Just after you left, Licinia asked me to go and catch up with you, in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I've a little experience in transporting bearers of ceruleum. So, this is Tapper's Den. Well then, after you.
Who are you? What happened to the guards? I took them out. I knocked them the fuck out. Eosians and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why in the hells would you pass up the chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword?
Let me guess. None of you are Garlean? You were brought here from other lands?
Gerabania, Yanshad, Bozja, Damaska, to name but a few. Some dragged here against our will, others fed bollocks about a better life, all put to work extracting ceruleum. all given the esteemed title of An, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy means nothing in the new Garlemald, says we. About the only thing that's escaped more or less unscathed is Cerulia in chains. Still sustaining us, even with our paymasters out of the picture.
We hear you're experts in drawing up ceruleum from the bottom of the lake. But how can you do that if it's frozen over?
Ha! Wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, it's not as if ceruleum is used for much these days. What with the city in ruins, we take enough to power our heaters and save the surplus for later. And though it helps stave off the cold, it does sod all about our hunger unless we can trade it away.
Damn it. Where do I hide here?
You don't. You give her... Sorry, let me speak to her, Arya for a moment. So, turn your camera for a second. When she reaches this point, you stay back at your previous one, and then when she runs, do you go after her? Anyway,
Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we've got ceruleum by the barrelful. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare.
we can certainly ask. But if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here?
Free to go? Go where? Even if we managed to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us thanks to the Empire. And the knowledge and skills we acquired working for here would be practically useless outside of Garlemald. So we're staying for the time being. As long as there's a need for ceruleum, we'll find a way to get by. Even if Garlemald as we knew it is gone for good.
Gone for good? Regardless of what the Ilsabard contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be a cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life will have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it is consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people? Their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there'll be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. Works for me. And some luncheon toadskin hose offending. Alright, let's do one more.
So, you've come seeking ceruleum, have you? What? Those purebloods up at Victor's spoil sent you? To turn to their enemies for help. They must be more desperate than I thought. Then again, Licinia's got her little sister to think about.
A sister? But we only saw Licinia and 3 men.
It's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt there'd be any way to get it around here. I may have refused Licinia at first, thinking she'd come back with something to exchange, but I can spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. Consider it a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be sure to send them on our way. You hear?
I can't for the life of me think why Licinia would keep her sister a secret from us. But we can ask about that after we've delivered the ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back.
A sister, eh? Well, we'll find out soon enough. But wait for it. Okay, go, 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 go. Stop.
This isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Alphino would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They can't have gone far.
Oh, that's just a Lalafell. Probably around the back of the house. There they are. Okay, you can go. Just keep following her once she moves. Anyway, they asked me to help carry supplies. But when I followed them back here, they attacked me, caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me.
You can't fool us. We know what you're about.
Oh, whoops, wrong voice.
Vultures, that's what you are. Waiting in the wings for us to show weakness, and then in you swoop. Here to help? What rot? All a ploy to make us lower our guard. Let you in, put ourselves at your mercy, put us in chains, steal our lands, get your revenge.
You're wrong. That's not what any of us want.
Save the arguments for later. We've got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles and a bed that was still warm. It's true. Licinia was hiding her sick sister inside the house. But now, there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go?
Away from you and yours. And if you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I'd never give up my people.
We're trying to help them, you idiot! Her sister's ill! The empty bottles prove it! So the medicine ran out, or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry! Or to avoid the sound of clinking glass! There are beasts everywhere! How could you let them go alone?
To protect them from you! You invade our homeland, tainted with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. A Garlean would sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, than be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them, since the moment you arrived.
This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Licinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries. And theirs. I will join you in the search after.
All right. Be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start.
Yeah, of course that doesn't end well.
Two sets of fresh footprints. Young women, judging by the size. This is definitely them. Come on!
Wait for it. Yeah. You don't have to sprint, but go now. Don't get too close, though. Stay behind the tree for a second, and then zigzag. Oh, wait, I pass Alice. Go. Sorry, I'm guiding Arya while I do my end. And you made it.
The trail stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this road so as not to leave footprints. I can't think of any other reason. Look at this place. It's crawling with beasts, and I can only imagine how hard it must be for her ailing sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alphino's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and search for clues.
Oh. Half-buried wet paper half burned in the snow appears to be a flyer for a theater group, though the run of shows advertised has long since ended. Oh, here we go. Fresh blood. The blood staining the snow appears to be fresh. Judging by the amount, the victim may have been severely wounded. The trail of blood leads southeastwards. Oh, shit. This doesn't look good. The two bodies are already cold. Shit. Oh, voice. Okay.
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked.
Yep.
No. Why? Why wouldn't they?
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic. We should have... I should have...
Damn.
We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out here in the wind and the cold.
Agreed.
I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all.
Maybe.
I want to understand. So I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders. But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
There must have been something we could have done. But what? Should we have never come here? Would they still be alive if we hadn't?
Questions for another time, I guess. We'll take a quick break. We'll return with more. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links provided.